Laker fam. Okay, what the heck has happened the last week and a half? It's only been about 8 days since my last video, but so much has happened in Lakerland. We have so much to talk about, so to help me break it all down, we have a very special guest, the one, the only Laker Dad. Dad, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, Hannah. Happy to be here.
Okay, so let's just get right into it because so much has happened. Like I said, let's just start from the beginning. The Lakers announced that they have hired Frank Vogel to be their head coach. This was kind of a shocker. I don't know if you were surprised. I was surprised because I kind of felt this came out of nowhere because we obviously thought they were going to be going with Ty Lue, and that didn't work out. But Frank Vogel wasn't even in the conversation. You know, it was Ty Lue, like I said, it was Monty Williams, it was Juwan Howard. There was never really any talks of Frank Vogel, so then all of a sudden, he's hired as the head coach. What do you think, and what were your initial thoughts about it?
Actually, I'm pretty positive about it, Hannah. I think the first three names that you mentioned were there primarily because of their relationship or potential relationship with LeBron James. And I think at the end of the day, they hired a very solid coach who's going to do a good job. He's got a good track record. So I'm not disappointed at all.
Now, another guy that the Lakers brought along, not a guy that, like, I'm that crazy about, is Jason Kidd. They also brought him in to be an assistant coach. This is interesting because I think they brought him in mainly to work with Lonzo Ball. But, which we're going to kind of talk a little bit more later in this video, there have been some new developments which might lead to Lonzo possibly being traded, but it doesn't really make sense now if they have Jason Kidd. So what do you think about this?
Well, Jason Kidd is one of the greatest point guards in the history of the NBA, and I know he's had a rocky history. He's had a couple of coaching jobs already that didn't work out for him. But, you know, as an assistant coach, I mean, I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. You know, he's a smart guy, no matter who the point guard for the Lakers is next year, and I think it'll probably be Lonzo. But even if it's not, I think he's a tough, fiery guy, and I'm fine with him being a coach, especially an assistant coach.
Professionally, he's fine. In his personal life, a little bit of a train wreck. Not super fond of him. But in terms of Frank Vogel, I'm kind of like meh about it. It's fine. It doesn't like, you know, I wasn't jumping up and down for joy, but I'm like, all right, solid coach, solid, you know, decision.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, were you jumping up and down for, you know, Ty Lue or for Monty Williams? I mean, who's really out there that's going to get you that excited?
Honestly, no one. I mean, I really like Mark Jackson, but that's just because, you know, I like Mark Jackson. I think he's a cool guy. I'm curious, though, do you guys like this Frank Vogel, Jason Kidd coaching hire? Comment down below because I'm kind of partial to it. What do you?
I'm fine with it.
On a scale from 1 to 10, what do you guys think? I'm going to give it like... I'll give Frank Vogel like a 7. Probably that's my favorite number.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 7 too. Okay. I mean, I'm not jumping up and down, but I don't know who they could have hired that I was going to be jumping up and down about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. When you put it like that, it makes a lot of sense.
He's a good, solid coach. He's experienced. I'm fine with it.
Okay, that makes sense. So 1 through 10, give me your reaction down below. Moving on to the next topic we have to discuss, and this was honestly probably like the most exciting day I've had in a really, really long time.
It was exciting.
And I think a lot of Laker fans can agree. This is, you know, a very exciting situation. I had to wear Kuzmania shirt just to represent this situation, but we have to talk about the lottery. So obviously the Lakers were going in the lottery with, you know, pretty much know that they were going to get the 11th pick in the draft. And there was a 9% chance that they would move up into the top 4, so no one thought, you know, whatever. But, as we all know, they ended up with the 4th pick. I was freaking out. We were watching it together. I was freaking out because they just kept going lower and lower. They're at 10, they're at 9. Then before you know it, they're in the top 4. I knew they were projected to get the 11th pick, but for the last few days before the draft or the lottery leading up to it, I kept seeing every time I would look at my phone or look at a clock, it would be 11:11. So I'd be like making a little bit of a wish there. So that's very lucky. So I kind of felt like something lucky was going to happen. I never thought in my wildest dreams they would move up to number 4. I thought maybe like 9 or 7, but 4 was literally insane. I'm like actually very shocked I still have a voice.
They actually had higher odds of dropping to 12 or 13 than they did to get to number 4. And you're right. I mean, every time, you know, they would read off the next name and it was going lower and lower and lower, we were going crazy. Kuzma did a great job. brought great luck.
Kuzma did a fantastic job. What do you think this means now for the Lakers' future? Because obviously they never thought in a million years they were going to get the 4th pick either. So now I feel like we're in an amazing spot because having the 4th pick in general just holds a lot of trade value. Whereas before the 11th was fine, but obviously that big jump can really change a lot for us.
Well, as Rob Pelinka said after the lottery, I mean, this is unexpected, and it's a great asset for the team to have, either to draft a really good young player in June or to trade it, to package it and trade it for, they keep saying Anthony Davis. I don't know if that's going to work out, but maybe Bradley Beal or somebody else. So, it's definitely more valuable as a number 4 pick than a number 11 pick. It's just an unexpected, strong asset, and the team feels really good about it.
Okay, if you had to, because there's kind of been like multiple, not reports, but people kind of have mixed opinions about this. I personally, well, I'll share my opinion, but would you prefer the Lakers to keep the pick or trade the pick? I'm 100% saying trade this sucker, but a lot of people, I'm actually shocked, have said to keep it. What do you think?
Well, I think the Lakers are going to try to use the pick in a trade. At the end of the day, it just depends on what the team we're trading with wants in addition to the pick. If we could trade the pick even up for Bradley Beal, we'll do it tomorrow. But if they're going to want, Ingram and Ball on top of Bradley Beal, or Ingram and Ball on another first-round pick, then it's not going to work. So I think that most people expect them to try to use the number 4 pick as a trade asset, but, because, it's all about LeBron. If it wasn't for LeBron, I'd rather pick a really good young player and let him grow. But because we have LeBron here, and I worry about this, I don't know that it's smart, but once we chose to get on the LeBron James bus, I think we have to try to get a veteran who can help right away.
I tend to agree, and also, the last 5 years we've had these really high draft picks. We've picked these talented players. I'm obviously very attached to our young core, so I don't really want to see them go. But I'm kind of over that process now. I feel like we've done it for so long. We have a great group of young players who may or may not still be Lakers at the start of next season. But I'm kind of just over that situation. But I'm curious, do you guys want the Lakers to keep the pick or trade the pick? Comment below, because like I said, I originally just thought trade it, what are you, crazy? But a lot of people are actually saying keep it. I don't really agree with it. Now, something else I do want to ask you, you touched on, trading possibly for Bradley Beal. Obviously, if we're going to trade for AD, which I don't know if it's going to happen, we're going to have to trade pretty much the entire team like we saw earlier on this past season. But if it's for a guy like Bradley Beal and they say, okay, we'll take your 4th pick, and then what else would you include in that trade to make it worth it?
At most, one other of the young core players. Probably Brandon Ingram. But Bradley Beal's still a young guy. He averaged 25 points a game last year. He's a star, and he's a great player, and he's a shooting guard, which we desperately need. Ingram and Kuzma, I continue to feel are somewhat repetitive of each other. I think eventually the Lakers are probably going to have to choose between the two. And, again, this can play out so many different ways. For example, if we get another max free agent, let's say, Kawhi Leonard comes or Jimmy Butler or something, well, then maybe you go ahead and keep the pick and take some young guy. We got to keep some young guys, in my opinion, because LeBron's, 2-3 more years. What are we going to have, nothing at the end of that time? We've already wasted D'Angelo Russell. We let Julius Randle walk for nothing. Those two guys are killing it now for other teams. You got to be really, really careful with these assets and letting them go unless you get something really significant in return.
No, I agree. I don't want to get rid of all of our young players, because then we're just going to be in the exact situation, like you said, that we were in when Kobe retired, when LeBron retires.
And you have to be patient. That's the point. These guys are still 21, 22, 23 years old. It's frustrating. It takes time, but you've got to be patient with them. Like Zubats, They traded him last year. He was 21 at the time.
Oh, no, don't get talking about
No, I don't know what he's going to be, but what is he going to be when he's 25?
No,
4 years from now, and he's got 4 more years of experience. Just to get rid of him for nothing, I thought was crazy. Something you get in return, I think, should be a relatively young asset like a Bradley Beal or somebody like that who's still 25, 26 years old, AD who's 26, somebody young who's got some years ahead of them.
Okay, so we're saying Bradley Beal. You're saying you would be willing to trade for him, 4th pick, 1 member of the young core.
Yes.
And then what if they say, are you including Josh Hart? And they're like, what if they say, oh, also we want Brandon Ingram and Josh Hart? Then are you saying, no, that's too much? You're saying only 1 member?
I'm not sure. I'm on the fence about that. I'd have to think about it.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think you would, to trade for Bradley Beal, you would include the 4th pick and 1 member of the young core, or would you be willing to make it up or go up to 2 members? Let me know down in the comments below. I think I'm kind of tricky about this because I think I would definitely, I'm kind of with you on this. I'm not 100% sure. If it's maybe Josh Hart, I would think about it.
Well,
but
I might do Lonzo and Josh Hart.
Yeah, if I did Lonzo and
I'm
Josh
not as
Hart,
bullish on Lonzo's future as I am about Ingram. I mean, I think Ingram, if he can stay healthy, which is a big bit, but if he can, I mean, he's got star potential and he's going to be really, really good. I still can't figure out what Lonzo's going to be, and so and there's so many great point guards, out there. It might just depend on who among the young core they ask for. Yeah.
But let me know what you guys would trade to get Bradley Beal. Obviously, AD, as we all know, it's going to be the entire roster. So we're just going to have to see how that plays out. Okay, moving on to the last storyline we have to talk about. The Lakers have come out and said, we are not going to be hiring a head of basketball operations. Magic Johnson is not going to be getting a replacement, at least in the foreseeable future. What do you think about this announcement?
I am fine with it. Again, the Lakers have gotten so much negative press, and I think so much of it is unfair, and it's based on rumors and speculation and just jealousy. Rob Pelinka has essentially been running this team for the last 2.5 years. That's what I actually believe. I think Magic Johnson was the face. I think his primary role, however, was going to be to attract free agents. I don't think he's going to the office every day, and I don't think he was, doing the actual work. I think Rob Pelinka is the one who did that. And, again, I'm okay with some degree of continuity. With Magic gone, I mean, maybe they just feel they can't just clean house entirely and totally start over.
And also, you can't just, replace Magic Johnson. Yeah. It's not just something that you just, snap. You're like, I'll just, it's, no offense to Mitch Kupchak, but he's a little bit easier replaceable. You can't just replace a guy like Magic Johnson like that quickly, at least.
Well, I think my personal feeling is Magic Johnson leaving when he did and the way he did was the most despicable thing I've ever seen. And he devastated the organization. It's just so unfair, the criticism, in my opinion, because what do they expect people to do? Run out the next day and replace Magic Johnson? It was such a blow and so unexpected. I'm not surprised. It's been about a month. I'm not surprised that it takes time to recover from that. And, meanwhile, life went on. They had to get a coach. They had to do things. And I'm okay with Rob Pelinka. I think Rob Pelinka is a really smart guy. Is he the most likable guy in the world? I don't know. But, where the Lakers are going to miss Magic Johnson is in the free agency room trying to attract a free agent. That's going to make the sell much tougher, and that's unfortunate. But aside from that, I don't think Magic was really doing all that much.
I think LeBron James now is going to have to step up and be that, which obviously we know he has been, in order to convince these free agents.
It's all about LeBron James. Either we're going to get a max free agent or we're not because of LeBron James. Either he's going to deliver that person or not. And so, that's the way it is. And hopefully he will, but we'll see.
Okay, but I want to hear from you. Were you surprised by the announcement that the Lakers said that they are not going to be hiring a head of basketball operations? I personally was not surprised about it, especially since they made the announcement of hiring the head coach, because I think if they were going to hire a new head of basketball operations, they would have announced that. They would have hired someone before hiring the head coach.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we would have just kind of been in the whole situation again with the Magic Johnson, Luke Walton, drama. But I'm curious to what you guys have to say. Okay, so I think that is going to conclude this video. We talked for a lot. We kind of had our 3 main subjects here, but there was a lot to talk about. It was a pretty darn exciting week in Lakerland. I'm exhausted though. I kind of feel like I've been hit by a bus, but kind of in a good way.
As we all know, there's as much drama and excitement for the Lakers in the off-season these days as there are, during the regular season.
Almost more so. I mean, actually, definitely this summer. It's going to be a crazy off-season, a crazy summer. So on that note, make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any second of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Dad, what should they do for this video?
They should subscribe to your channel?
Yeah, I just said that, but what else?
Thumbs up?
Yeah. Oh no. I'll take it from here. Please don't forget to give this video a like, comment down below something nice to say, any of your opinions on these matters. And until the next one, Laker Han and
Laker Dad
are out. Bye guys.
On the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere, what they saying, loot is back.